Hi, welcome to All Things Possible. I'm Kris Barney. I am so excited to have you with me this week. Today we're going to talk about perspective. And we are going to talk about this in a way, I'm going to share my story, of course, because that's what I do, right? But I want to share with you the perspective that we have and how that plays a part in our lives, because perspective can be huge. Before I get really jumping into this, I want to invite you to join our community right here, allthingspossible.biz, and be part of it. There's free gifts there for you, and it will make it available for you to get our new episodes. We put out a new episode and an article every week, and we send our newsletter out to give you this free content and this opportunity just to give you different opinions, give you some research, and give you some ideas. So join our group if you haven't. So let's talk about perspective. I want to start with this story because this story happened recently, and if you follow me very much, you know that I went to Florida. So I flew into Florida. This was a planned trip, and before we ever got there, I put in place some pretty hefty goals. In fact, from the middle of January to February 11th, I was going to accomplish 33 goals. Now, one of those goals was 18 workouts in those 21 days. It gave me 1 day a week off, and I was doing 2-hour workouts. So a little history for you. I have issues with my feet. If you know me at all, you know that I've had foot surgery, I've had some stuff going on. And it's changed how I have been working out and what's been going on for me. I love to walk in the outdoors. I live in the mountains. I love to go hiking, but I haven't been able to do a lot of that because my feet swell and I have these issues. I've needed foot surgery for years at this point. I had gone through foot surgery, which turned into from 1 surgery to 3 surgeries on one foot, and it's still not right. So it immediately made me go, oh wait, I don't know that I'm going to do this, right? So I have these issues with my feet. So to be able to be in shape and ready to hit the ground running, because my accountability partner runs half marathons because she can. I call her the half marathon junkie. So I knew I had to keep up with her, and I knew that we were going to be doing all 4 of Disney parks in Orlando, Florida, in Disney World, in 2 days. So I knew I had to be in the best shape possible to be able to keep up with my friends, right? And I didn't want to hold them back. So several of the goals had to do with my health and wellness as well as what I could accomplish. I accomplished these goals and I was ready to go, and I got there and we had a phenomenal time. In less than 5.5 days, so less than 6 days, we had gone 52 miles by foot. And it showed up on my Fitbit. My Fitbit just kept sending off fireworks every single day, some days more than once because we'd hit over 20,000 steps. In fact, my highest was 28,000 steps in 1 day. And it was so excited for me. It was celebrating everything that we were doing, right? I was so excited. And it just, every single hour it went off telling me I'd hit my steps, and every hour I'd, get this reassurance back. And I would be like, okay, so the perspective here is that it's really excited. It's rooting me on. It's pushing me forward, right? The very next week, again, I'm back in my home gym on my recumbent bike doing miles. So over 50 miles on my bike. But my Fitbit doesn't clock 1 step for those, not even 1. My husband laughs and says, put it on your ankle because it might count them. But it doesn't count the steps. So the whole day in the office, it's reminding me, giving me reminders, not celebrating, it's reminding me, get out of your chair, go take a walk. And all day long, it's kind of nagging me rather than celebrating, right? So I ask perspective, because the second week I got a lot more done in my business. I made more money the second week than I did, well, I did spend probably more than I made the second week, but I was very much successful that second week, and yet my Fitbit did not think so. So it made me ask, how do we see ourselves? What's our perspective? Are we celebrating ourselves, whether it's this great big goal that's maybe even excessive, right? Or just believing in ourselves? Are we staying in that accomplishment mentality? And are we seeing ourselves and enjoying the journey? This is not the first time I've had this health issue be part of what was going on for me. And yet, it was the first time that I had a Fitbit going crazy about it, right? And that I could go the very next week. I mean, I was finishing up my book, getting it to the editor, doing lots of things that were huge. And it wasn't very excited for me. I want to ask you, how are you seeing your life? What is your perspective? Because if you can celebrate that what is happening for you every single week, and it doesn't have to be grandiose things, but celebrate. Stay in that accomplishment mentality and be happy for what's going on. Be able to stay in perspective of what is happening and what matters. Does that make sense? Sometimes we just get to be grandma, and that's just as important, if not more important, than great at our job. Like, it is just as much fun for me, if not more, to play with my grandkids as it is for me to go speak. Now, I love to speak and I love to make changes and assist people to really take on their life, but I love those grandkids. So where's your perspective? How are you showing up? Are you really cheering yourself on, believing in yourself, and wholeheartedly supporting yourself in what you want to accomplish? Are you pushing yourself when it needs to be done? Are you willing to do what it takes? Because that is all in perspective. And when we really look at the perspective that we have of our life and how things are going, we're able to change that so easily. And yet, if we don't have the right perspective, we can make ourselves frustrated, overwhelmed, depressed, and not feel successful. Now, both weeks were very successful for me. They were completely opposite ends of the spectrum. And we need both. We need to play. We need to be able to go have fun. We need to go learn. I was at a conference learning a ton. And yet, I got home and worked really hard. Trust yourself. Be willing to set that bar high and go for it. And celebrate. Thanks for being with me today. Check in with your perspective. Where is it at? How are you seeing yourself? How are you valuing you? Thanks for being here. Again, join me at allthingspossible.biz if you are not already in our community. We'd love to have you with us, and we'd love to share content and ideas and perspective with you. Thanks so much. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.